Spackman. I am a retired chartered architect and became involved with the project here, the Guildhall, through my capacity of former chairman of the Devon Historic Buildings Trust. We bought the building off the Devon and Cornwall Police some 12 years ago and then invited the general public to tell us what they thought the future of the building should be. It's a Grade 2 star listed building and has a history which goes back to Tavistock Abbey, which was the biggest abbey in the southwest up until the dissolution of the monasteries. And following that public meeting, it showed that the people of Tavistock wanted to keep the building as a public building. And we sought to find a buyer for it who would follow that idea through, and eventually Tavistock Town Council bought it from us, but worked with Devon Historic Buildings Trust and the Tavistock Heritage Forum, which consisted of a whole series of organisations who were interested in the furtherance of improving the heritage in Tavistock, to look for a future for it. Now, at the same time, the Town Council had sought a grant from Heritage Lottery funding to restore historic buildings in the town which were privately owned. And that included the Pannier Market, the Butcher's Hall, and a couple of other properties in the town where people could seek a grant. And part of that was to go through stage 2, which was to find a future for the Tavistock Guildhall. At the same time as that, the World Heritage Site was being formed for the East Cornwall and West Devon mining landscape, and it was thought that this could become the gateway to the whole of that World Heritage Site. And subsequently, the Tavistock Heritage Trust, which I helped set up, was formed and worked with the Town Council to get a Heritage Lottery grant to restore the building, alter and adapt it, and to put the interpretation in there for the town and for the mining landscape. So that's how it all came about. Very much everybody working together. All sorts of different organisations, the Wharf, which is our local theatre, people who are very much involved in heritage and own historic buildings in the town, West Devon Borough Council, Devon County Council, other interested parties like Mount Kelly School, all came together to look at how we could improve the heritage overall in the town. And from that, because it was very much a community effort, Heritage Lottery funding was forthcoming to make it all happen.
Follow down through here, right? This takes you down through and it brings you into what this would have been the police station. When it was operating as the police station, that was where the actual station was. And then when it was the modern police station, you come down through here, and you've got the modern police cells. So that was when it was working as a police station, because it was a police station until 2017. And this would have been the interview room.
Where's the torture chamber?
No torture chamber, in fact.
This is the interview room.
This would have been where they did their interviews and went to the modern police station. And this is obviously the modern cells look.
This was meant to be. Right, shall we lock them up then?
Yeah, lots of money.
We can do a quick tour
Yeah,
and they can come back. Okay, where are we going?
This is all about when the Duke of Bedford remodelled the town, remodelled Tavistock, and built the Guildhall. So you come down through here, and this takes you into the original cells. So if you look in there, you'll see my friend James, who nearly drowned. If you go in, he'll talk to you.
Hello, James. Why do you want help, James?
There's flooding. The water's coming up. The water comes up to 5 feet, up to here, so he nearly drowned.
Bless his heart. The Tavi, yeah?
Yeah, the River Tavy flooded.
A prisoner named James Stevens, another Stevens, confined to housebreaking at Princetown, was in the cells at the time. He was evacuated and moved up to the Lipton lockup. After the flood, the old police station was regarded as uninhabitable and new cells were opened in 1892. Well, I'm so glad to hear that, like Noah, you avoided the flood, eh? Ah, dear. No wonder you're sitting up there now. How high did it go?
5 feet.
5 feet tall, so that's a bit more than that, isn't it?
So it's up here. I'm 5'7".
Whoa!
So it's here.
Up to, yeah.
It's up to there.
Yeah, you got it up to his neck in it. Well done, James. What are all these?
So that's all cells as well.
All cells as well, and they're all done up and different things in them. And that's every one of them. Oh, that looks like it's the lift.
Yeah, that's the lift, because the whole thing is accessible with lifts. And you came down a platform, which means we can take people up.
Was this the original tap?
Yeah, yeah. And then if you come up these stairs, this brings you up into their court.
Wonderful. And they were brought up to the dock.
And they brought up to the dock, yeah. So you came into there, sat in there, look.
The defendant, an individual accused in a court of law. And there's another defendant.
These guys were accused of stealing a tin of biscuits. So they ended up having being sentenced to a month's hard labour for stealing a tin of biscuits.
Crumbs.
Yeah.
A month's hard labour for stealing a tin of biscuits. And there they would be facing magistrates.
Yeah, magistrate.
1, 3?
No, it's a magistrate.
One magistrate. And the full power of the law behind him. And is that the Prince of Wales?
So that's the Prince of Wales, the Crown, and Devonshire coat of arms.
Is that up there, Due Mondroit?
Yeah.
Or Swanee Swaki Mally Ponce? And that one, what's that one, did you say? The Duke of Devonshire?
Yeah.
Right. And who does that represent? That's Justice.
Justice.
Right. Is she blind, folded?
Yeah, she's got blindfold, hasn't she?
That's wonderful. And who would sit on the left?
That would be your witnesses, your police. You know, you got the 2 policemen. You got the lady to the biscuits.
This would be the evidence.
So this is all. Here are all your people who would have been in.
Okay, the police, witness, a person who sees an event, typically a crime or accident.
The man who was. They stole the tin of biscuits from.
Right. Was not Mr. Crawford, was it? Or,
No, it wasn't Mr. Crawford.
or McVitie?
No.
The police. In 1887, Tavistock Guildhall was a divisional headquarters for the Devon Constabulary, with a superintendent, sergeant and 3 constables. Evening all. There we go. And here, the clerk of the court would sit in front of the magistrate, as per usual. I gave legal advice to magistrates of no formal legal training. Wow. How many laws have the navvies broken? Do you think this was fair punishment? Beautiful. And these are hats that people role play?
Yeah, we do that.
They role play here, and do they copy an actual trial that
Yes,
takes
we've
place?
got a trial to follow.
My goodness, what could be turned, the Shire Hall could be turned into something quite amazing like
We
this.
have the children from schools come in. And do
Children
things.
from schools, and then they sit here?
We've got what's called the Discovery Team, so
Right.
they come in and we do activities with children.
What other things? So children, what ages would they be?
Primary school.
Primary school children. So why don't you do secondary when they're starting to get naughtier?
Well, at the moment, because we're just gradually building up things, we've not, we can't do everything. We can't, it's gradually, because we've only been open since November.
And of course there's been problems.
And everybody's here. We're all volunteers.
How many volunteers do you have?
Oh, I'm not sure. I think it's about 30, I think.
30? Yeah. And they're all retired people?
No, various ages.
Do you bring in real life magistrates? Do you bring in real life solicitors?
These are all things we're hoping to do in the future.
What other things haven't I asked you?
Well, I don't know.
So there's lots of potential here.
Yes.
For schools. You might put a few people off a career in crime. And who sits here? Is this is there a jury here?
No, the jury, because it's a magistrates' court.
I know that.
So there's no jury.
But there is a jury at Shire Hall. There are seats still there because that used to be assizes.
Yeah, no, we don't have jury.
Yes.
This is public.
Let me take a view from the top, if you will.
Yeah. Good morning, welcome to the Guild.